it broke me, to be totally honest. Like, that's information that no mother ever wanted to hear.
Heidi Sallee from Lewiston, Maine is living through the unimaginable. The death of her teen daughter, Emali Renee Sallee.
She's fun. She's very caring. One of the sweetest people that anybody that had ever met her has ever met. And a mother. She was, just such a great, great, like, model mother. Like, at such a young age.
Emali met Tyson Peters 3 years ago.
They hooked up and a couple times, and she ended up pregnant. And then they started dating.
Heidi instantly felt something was off.
I didn't like him at first because I dropped her off to hang out with him one day. And then, like, when he brought her home, he just pulled into the end of the driveway and then drove away. And I was like, I don't like that. He didn't come in to say hi. He didn't come meet me. And of course, that was when the excuses started being made.
Disturbing behavior began early into their relationship.
There had to have been something that somebody knew that was ignored. I didn't know him. He didn't want to be around me. For Christmas, I bought him Christmas presents. I invited him over for Christmas. He didn't come. It was just Emily and the baby.
Heidi says there was abuse too.
And there was a couple of incidences that happened. I tried to get her to put a restraining order on him, and she refused to. The police were involved a couple times, and the more I pushed, the more she pulled away from me. So what I started doing was, like, talking to her about them and just like, okay, well, this is what I see. I know you don't see it like that, but I can see these things. And then as those conversations, just general conversations, there's no anger, there's no animosity, there's no name calling, there's no yelling, screaming, none of that stuff. I'd send her TikToks that would relate to their situation so that she can kind of be like, oh, okay, well, I guess mommy's right. And started really thinking about things and stuff. The most recent information that I had regarding their relationship was just that he didn't work at all. He was keeping her from her friends. She'd make plans with her coworkers to have play dates with the kids at the trampoline park and stuff like that. And then it was always okay. Like, he would always be okay with it until the day of, all of a sudden, something happened, or it was a fight and she couldn't go. Like, it would just drain. Like, you could see the life just come out. Like, she was, okay, fine. It's just like, take a deep breath and just deflate. He quite literally kept her away from everybody.
The 19-year-old began distancing herself from him.
The weekend before he took her from us, she went to Bangor and actually did hang out with some friends for the weekend. She's like, Mommy, I really, like, I want to get out of there. I want to just take the weekend and just see how I do. And I said, okay, that's fine. And you go have fun. Go be 19 for a minute. She said that she tried to have a good time, but he was making her feel guilty and making her feel some kind of way. And he just wouldn't stop texting her, wouldn't stop calling her. But then as soon as she came home on Sunday, he was blowing up her phone. They asked her how, I was like, okay, well, now that you're back, how are you? Like, how do you feel? And she said, I can't do it anymore. I don't feel the same way that I used to feel. Like, I feel something completely different that I didn't ever feel before. And I don't want to be there. Like, I'm not supposed to be there anymore. And I said, okay, that's good. So what are we going to do? What's your plan? And Wednesday, I have the day off. I'm going to take the baby to daycare, and then I'm going to pack our stuff, and then I'm going to come home. And I said, okay, that works.
Wednesday, April 10th came.
I talked to her throughout the day. So then she FaceTimed me at 4:14 on Wednesday afternoon to ask me if I could pick the baby up from daycare because it was taking longer than she had thought it was going to take to get their stuff together. Okay, good. I'm proud of you. I will definitely go get the baby. And that was the last I heard. I texted her at 5:24. I was like, that's weird. But maybe she's moving things, she's busy, whatever. And then at 6:30, I texted her again, and I was like, are you coming home tonight? She never even responded to any of my text messages. Wednesday night, when I started reaching out to her friends, like, hey, have you heard from Emily? One of her friends, her name is Kyra, and she's like, no, I haven't heard from Emily. So she's like, do you want me to drive over there? And I said yes, if you would please. She did call me, and she was like, Heidi, something's not right. She's like, all of the lights are on, the curtains are drawn, but nobody's answering the door, and both of the cars are in the driveway, and she's not answering my phone. And so Kyra said, she's like, something's not right. Do you think that I should call the police?
Police did a wellness check.
They didn't get a response when they went there. They were going to be going back in the morning, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. So I called the police. And I said, hey, you guys did a welfare check on my daughter at like midnight-ish, and I haven't heard anything. What's going on? What's happening? And so they did another welfare check. Right after we hung up the phone is when they forced entry, and they found them. So they said that they had been gone for a significant amount of time.
Maine police said Peters killed Emily and then turned the gun on himself.
They obviously hesitated to tell me, but they did. And it broke me, to be totally honest. Like, that's information that no mother ever wanted to hear. And even though I knew that them being there more than likely had that outcome, I was still hopeful that it was, she's in surgery in this hospital, and we came to bring you to her so you can be there when she gets out, or just anything that was aside from you're never going to see your baby again. And then I asked about him, and so, well, what about him? And they said, well, he's gone too. He took my daughter. He took the mother away from my granddaughter. Like, she's never going to be able to know how wonderful she was and how much she loved her. We have videos, we have photos, but that never does the justice of her actually feeling her mom. You know what I mean? And she was always so affectionate and so loving, but the baby's never gonna be. She's not gonna remember that. And for what? Because he wanted to keep her?
Because the incident is so fresh, Heidi's grieving has just begun.
The thing that I miss the most is her phone calls. I miss trying to take a nap, and then I'd just be drifting off, and just drifting off to sleep, and then my watch is buzzing and my phone is going off, and I look at my phone and it says Renee is FaceTiming. Honestly, that's what I miss. It was one of the most annoying things in the entire world. But it's the thing that I miss the most about her. It just spoke to who she was. Her thinking that I don't know how to be a mom. I miss that too. When she's like, did you brush Eliana's teeth? Did Ellie have her medicine? Make sure she's at daycare before 9. Girl, Miss Ma'am, can you remember that I am your mother? You came from this. So sit down. I've got it.
Now Heidi cares for Emily's 2-year-old.
Wipers on the bus go squish, squish, squish.
Eliana's very, very snuggly because her mom was snuggly. Her Nona is snuggly, so it works. So you can see the affection that comes from her relationship with her mother. you know, which stems with my relationship with her mother, because we're very affectionate people.
Emali's loved ones are doing what they can to remember her.
It says 2005. Obviously, that was the year she was born. She got my birth year tattooed on the back of her elbow for my birthday. And it was the sweetest thing ever. This one is her birth flower for March and her death flower for April. It has her name in the stem. She saw on Facebook, like one of the things scrolling through, a death option where you put a body in a pod and make a tree. And she was like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. When I die, I want to be put in a pod and I want to become a weeping willow tree. We're going to have a vigil and we're going to plant her tree with her, and she's going to be in the front yard of her father's house.
Heidi said she will now focus all her attention on keeping Emali's memory alive.
Like, people have to hear her story. They have to know what happened to her. They have to know the risks that people that are still alive are taking by not calling the police when they're ready to leave, not listening to their friends and their family members. Domestic violence is something that there's not a lot of voices about. And people are embarrassed. People are scared. If I can save one person's life on my daughter's story, then I've done what I needed to do. You know, obviously I want to help more than that, but like, if people don't hear it, they don't see it, then they don't know. It's important for me to be real and be raw and be open and be me, like through and through, with domestic violence awareness. Hiding it is only going to hurt you. If you feel unsafe, you feel unsafe. You should never feel like you can't go talk to somebody and you can't reach out to the police or to therapists or an advocate or an organization, something to make sure that you're safe. Because when you're ready to leave is when you're never going to leave. They're going to keep you forever, like he did Emali. And that's you. You can't do that to your kids, your family members, your parents, your sisters, your brothers, your aunts, your uncles. It's not fair to everybody else for your assailant to have the opportunity to keep you forever. As long as anybody's gonna be there to be able to learn from her experience, then I will be talking about her experience.
To reach the National Domestic Violence Hotline, visit thehotline.org, call 1-800-799-SAFE, or text 88788. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.